Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mirror List Monday, right here on the Eat, Sleep, List YouTube channel. My name is Matt Johnson, your host, and with Christmas just a few days away, I want to do something fun and reflect on this past year by handing out some coal. Let's make a list. All right, if you clicked on this video, you are probably wondering what the heck is the coal for Christmas list. Little unusual to make a list of coal for Christmas, but I'll start off with this. As a kid, at least from my perspective, the idea, the concept, the potential of getting coal for Christmas was a terrifying prospect. It scared the crap out of me as a child because it was shown in movies, television shows, cartoons, comic books. All right. The coal for Christmas was an indication that you were on the naughty list and you did not deserve anything that you asked for. The threat of that was enough to straighten somebody out, including myself. I remember in the second grade that I received a letter from Santa before school started, and put the fear of God in me. All right? I was terrified. I thought that I was not getting a single thing that I asked for, and I was getting a big old lump of coal for Christmas. I really did believe that. It was a terrible way to start the school day. All right. And, but I straightened my act out. That's for sure. It was a anxiety-riddled holiday season. And probably a lot of my anxiety to this day stems from stuff like that, but it got me to change my behavior and do better. I did a coal for Christmas list on the audio podcast version of Eat Sleep List last Christmas time. All right, December of 2024 with my co-hosts Dan and Brian. And it was a great time. We basically had fun with silly, stupid, irritating things and poked fun at it. All right, by issuing coal for Christmas. One of the ones that I did, and I'm quite proud of, was handing out coal to the entire WNBA for their treatment of Caitlin Clark in 2024. She was a big star, drew in a ton of attention, butts in seats, revenue, and people everywhere from owners to players were all just taking every kind of dig and shot at her and treating her like she wasn't like the big deal that she was. All right. That's an example of that because 2024 was Caitlin Clark's first year in the WNBA. I like to do this yearly, and I'd like to make this a yearly tradition going forward. So what I'm going to do today is look at things, incidents, moments, maybe in some cases people that irritated me, made me angry, and peeved me in such a way that the only choice that I have is to talk about it, to, I guess in a weird sense, air my grievances like Festivus, right? Talk about it in that kind of light, and just make fun of it, all right? Give metaphorical coal to these things out for Christmas. And there's a lot of very serious stuff I could hand out coal to, okay? I kept it pretty lighthearted today. I wanted to make this fun. It is Christmas time. I don't want to go too deep into negativity, but there's a lot of stuff that, just I think everybody can enjoy. There's no politics really on this list. I avoided stuff like that. It's a lot of the more serious stuff going on in our world because there's a lot of coal that can be handed out in all of that regard. But that would be a very difficult list to put together. So we're going to keep it fun, keep it lighthearted, and break some hearts for Christmas. In my life experience, I have found that laughter is a very healthy way in dealing with people, places, things that can or intend to do us harm or affect us in some kind of negative way, emotionally, physically, stuff like that. Some examples, we all come across people who get off by intimidating others, making people feel small, unworthy, trying to get them to cry, all right, or be scared and afraid about something. We know people who like to get underneath other people's skins and make them angry, all right, by saying certain things, provoke them into doing something that they might regret. We all know people like that. Or we know places where something bad may have happened to us. All right, they give almost like trauma. All right, we try to avoid some of these places, or it's a little bit of a nightmare when we have to go through them. All right, pass by them or whatever. All right, to be able to look at people like that, or look at a place like that, or in some other instances, things, all right, events, whatever, and just laugh at it is strong. Okay? Because nothing can take away power from something quite like laughter. All right? If you are dealing with somebody, if you have someone in your life that feels the need to be loud or to yell to get their point across, no matter how right or wrong that they are, if you laugh at them, they become super insecure. All right? You're not giving them the reaction that they expect you to have. You're laughing at them in the face. You're embarrassing them, and you're making things, they're self-destructing on the inside. And it just takes their threatening power away from them. All right? And it's amazing. It's a great gift to have. If you can look at something that's supposed to be or intends to be scary or negative and laugh at it, you'll be all right. All right. And there's a lot of very serious people that you can aim this towards. I want to keep, for the sake of this video and the time period that we're in, have fun with it, keep it lighthearted, as I've said. But this is a great exercise. All right. Even just doing this list, just for fun, it's a great exercise at laughing at all the bad stuff. All right, and freeing your mind from worry and from being afraid, scared, and intimidated. This is great practice, I think. And, laughter is a powerful, powerful weapon. All right, everybody, it is time for my favorite part of every single video that we do. It is time to make the list. As I always encourage, please feel free to comment your list below in the comment section, or feel free to send me an email at eatsleeplistpod@gmail.com. That address is in every single video description that we post. I would love to hear about some of the fun things, or, I only care about the fun things. All right, on a personal level, I only care about the fun things that you are making fun of for the sake of this list that you would send coal to. All right. If you feel the need to feel better by sending metaphorical coal to a politician that you hate or some other person that, something very serious person that you despise, write it down. All right. Write it down and feel free to do it. All right. I want to keep this one fun, though, at least on my end. I want to keep it fun. I have some things, some gripes, some things to get off my chest. All right, and you're all going to hear about it. Let's get to it. My top 10 people, places, and things that are getting coal for Christmas. My number 10. I'm sure you all have a streaming service or two. Some of you have many. prices are insane. So insane that people who ask and beg for your password, your account information, without giving anything in return, I feel you deserve coal. I do. I mean, I'm mad at the streaming service providers for the prices that they charge. I think the whole streaming service business is wacko as it is. But if we are not doing like a streaming service for streaming service trade-off, that doesn't work for me, brother. That does not work for me. I love to take care of my friends. I do. But if it's just me taking care of you all the time, it can be very, very frustrating. Yeah, I don't know. Just the audacity of someone asking me to, hey, what's your password and account information? Well, I'm forking over $20 plus a month. The audacity. That is my number 10. Number 9, we were going into the realm of fantasy football. All right, and the folks that are getting coal from me this year: Washington Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin, as well as the entire Minnesota Vikings coaching staff and general manager and their quarterback situation for devaluing Justin Jefferson in such a way that when I finally get my hands on him, he's basically useless. Good God. It sucks. All right. All my money, most of my money leagues, I went for Justin Jefferson. I was like, there's no way he's going to have this bad of a drop-off. Even if the quarterback situation is not all that great, Jefferson's still going to get a lot of high usage. No, not quite. In fact, might be one of the worst first-round picks I've ever had. And I've had a lot of doozies. I talked about that on my worst fantasy football picks episode way back in August. It's bad. And Terry McLaurin, like, man, this dude fought for a contract. All right, he was holding in or holding out or whatever. He wanted his new contract. And I think he's caught like 1 or 2 touchdowns this year and been out for almost every game. It sucks. McLaurin wasn't a first-round pick for me, but I thought I read him in like the second in a couple leagues, maybe third in some others on the snake. But it's like, oh man, this Commanders team went so far last year. Jaden Daniels has been hurt all year. It's been a mess. And those are my 2 fantasy football. I think McLaurin's a bigger fantasy football bust this year than Jefferson, but it's been pretty disappointing for both across the board. So that's my number 9. Those 2 things. Number 8, NFL Red Zone, I'm talking to you. These commercials. It started off with just a couple, and now you're sliding more and more and more in. You're getting coal for Christmas. And I'm not blaming Scott Hansen. All right. That dude he does one heck of a job. And from what I understand, he is just the personality. He does not make any business decisions. He's just reading off football and talking and commentating over football, various games at various points in time. But I knew this was going to happen, and I think many other people suspected it was going to happen, is that, once you allow 1 or 2 commercials in, then they're going to start inserting more, and then before you know it, you're in the teens now, from what I understand, from what I've counted and read. And listen, Red Zone's still a very cool way of watching football. It's a very neat way. When I'm not watching solo Colts games or Bills games, I'm watching through Red Zone. And it's just like this is just the beginning. All right, this is just the beginning. I miss when it was 7 hours of commercial-free football. That was the tagline for years. And then ESPN took over it, and commercialized it. Like I said, it's doable for now, but you can already tell that it's going to become a problem down the road. So that's my number 8, NFL Red Zone commercials. Everybody affiliated with that, except Scott Hansen. Cole. All right, number 7. I don't purchase video games very often. I don't. I just don't have time to play video games, really. I have the bare minimum time, so if I'm going to spend money on a video game, it's got to be something that's really, really, really worth my time. Something that's exciting, something I've been looking forward to. And one of those things is Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. Very, very disappointed with this. I was so hyped up for this game. And I don't know what I was thinking. It's really not a whole lot to it. It was a $50 price tag, and it was bad. I thought it was bad before all the YouTube videos popped up of streamers and stuff burying it. But when you look at it, it's just like 4 games, kind of like 5, but it's like Mortal Kombat for the arcade, and then for the Sega, and then for the Nintendo, and then for the Game Boy, and then for the Game Gear. 5 different versions of the original Mortal Kombat. A little unnecessary. All right, then you got MK2, the arcade, Sega, Super Nintendo, Game Gear, Game Boy, and then it's on so on and so forth. So you're getting like a couple good games, but you're also getting a lot of extra nonsense. Like, I would never willingly play the Game Boy version of any of those games. All right, and they shoehorn a couple of the other things in, like mythologies and some of the other ones, but the input delays were just not good. Some of it's just unplayable. Very, very disappointed. Again, this is why I don't like spending money on video games anymore, is because of stuff like this. And I don't know. Also, like, if you're going to release a game, make sure it's like 100% ready to go upon release. It's not worth it sometimes. These companies, they rush out these games, and they are less than, and then they start adding in patches and all this other stuff. Like, I'd rather they take time and just make something good and quality instead of me paying for something or somebody paying for something and it being less than and just pissing people off. That's how game companies end up folding. All right, but this Legacy Collection, not worth it. Not worth it in my opinion. Maybe when it becomes discounted, I would advise people to scoop it up, but I know there were people getting refunds for it. I'm glad. I was not one of them, unfortunately. But Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. That's my number 7. Then getting Cole. Number 6. This is my last football-specific one. I'm going to go Myles Garrett. I'm going to call out Mr. Myles Garrett here. You deserve Cole for Christmas, all right? Myles Garrett is one of the best players, period, in the National Football League. This man, this past offseason, said that he wanted to get traded away from Cleveland because he wanted to play for a contender, all right? Wanted to play meaningful football. He said that very publicly, and then within weeks signed a massive contract extension that kept him in Cleveland for a lengthy amount of time with a large sum of money. I think like almost $40 million. I don't know off the top of my head, but it was a exorbitant amount of money. A lot. A couple weeks in, all right, to the regular season, he's getting pissed off. The Browns are losing. Big surprise. Slamming his helmet down and cursing and all this stuff and complaining about it. It's like, bro, you had the leverage. You could have left, but you signed the contract. You signed the contract to be there. You know what Cleveland is as a football team. It is a dumpster fire. It has been for years. You know, like, what did you expect? Enjoy all your individual accomplishments, Myles Garrett. Enjoy them all. Your defensive player of the year and your sack records and all this other stuff. Enjoy it. It's what you signed up for. It's what you are getting paid for. I don't want to hear any complaining. I don't. I'm so sick of millionaire athlete crybabies complaining about stuff. I don't give a shit. I will never, ever choose that. Choose that, a side of somebody complaining about just the choices that they made that led them to making the money that they that they have. But anyways, number 6, Myles Garrett. Number 5, I went to a lot of weddings this year. I did. And there are a lot of bad wedding speeches. All right. I did experience some really good ones. I'm not going to ignore those. But I did go to one wedding where there was an hour's worth of speeches while the food was sitting there waiting. People were starving. It was hot out. And people are just going through speeches over and over and over again to the point where everybody's hemming and hawing and talking. And some speeches should just be kept private. If you are doing a big speech to a wedding reception that's directed at one person, just keep that shit private. All right? Just talk with that person. Say that to somebody directly. When people are starving, been at the reception for hours waiting for dinner, and you just won't shut up, you deserve coal. All right? Terrible. Terrible, terrible. Do better. Do better. That's my number 5. Number 4, the sports betting industry. I do not like that pro sports are in bed with betting in Vegas. And there's always been something kind of fishy about it, but man, the busts with basketball, with the UFC that flew underneath the radar, Lord knows what else has gone on. I did sports betting for about a month and a half this year. Just wanted to try it out. I'm glad I did it, to say that I've tried it. But there's some wacky shit that goes on. When you take a look at some of these player props, that is eye-opening. When you are involved in the sports betting, you're doing it, you're putting it a little bit here, a little bit there, and you look at people's over-unders and they slide just before they're about to hit that over-under mark, or some of the point stuff that goes on. I don't want to come off like a conspiracy theorist, but there's just so much shady shit that goes on with it. And the fact that all the pro sports leagues are encouraging it, ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, is encouraging it. Literally had the ESPN bet thing come up as they were talking about the NBA stuff. It's crazy. I can't believe people still sports bet with all this wild stuff going on. Can't believe it. There is way too many. I will say it is taking away the fun of professional sports for me a little bit. It has taken away from it. Super shady stuff. But I can't believe that people still throw their money into it when there's just so many suspicious variables that go into it. All right, it really has sucked the joy out of it. So the sports betting industry, that's my number 4. My number 3, I'm going to send some coal to the WWE. What a horrendous year that pro wrestling has had with the WWE. It has not been good at all. All right? It has not been good at all. I think the fall off from Elimination Chamber onward is crazy. Crazy. All right. So I almost had Dwayne Johnson and Travis Scott on here because I think they messed up. Probably more so Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson than Travis Scott, but screwing up John Cena's retirement tour year. All right. And then I went to a show in March. Actually, it was the first Monday Night Raw after Elimination Chamber. We paid a pretty good price for our tickets. I did not have a good... I mean, I had a good time being with my friends, but it was not a good show. It was not a good show at all. I think it was March 3rd. It was not a good Raw or just presentation at all. For the prices that we paid, they're coming in January, and I have zero interest in going. All right? But they're making all this money, and there's less and less wrestling on the shows. I feel like it's not even important to watch Raw or SmackDown anymore. But the prices, and then also to the commercialization. Everything you look at, there's some kind of logo on it. The ring canvas has a logo. The tables have a logo. The guardrail system that they got, logo. And then they're selling themselves out to Saudi Arabia. All right, WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia. They're making a lot of business mistakes, I personally think. All right, they're forgetting about the families. Pro wrestling was built upon families. Now I feel like they're catering to a richer audience, the same rich audience like that look down upon wrestling, that have always looked down upon pro wrestling. Yeah, sure, whatever. You get Snoop Dogg in the crowd or a couple other celebrities that they grew up loving it, but pro wrestling was built with ticket sales from hardworking families that would go to their local arenas and go see it and go watch these shows. And I get it, the business is changing, but it just seems like they're milking out they're nickel and diming everything. And it is truly sad to watch because 2024 really brought me back into the fold of pro wrestling. I loved watching WWE. It was a religious habit. I would watch Raw. I would watch SmackDown. I would watch all the PLEs. And now, this year, after WrestleMania, I haven't watched anything. Especially with this new ESPN deal where it's very complicated and expensive to watch it. I very, very disappointed with it, and I think it's going to do a lot of harm in the long run. That's just me. I think that they're going to price out families and future generations from having any interest in their product, which could be a good thing down the road, but right now it's not. It is not. So Cole, to you, all of you. Number 2. Text scammers. I had a scamming interaction earlier this week, and it was one that is very similar to many that I've had in recent years. Let me read off this to you. Let's see. Let me find it. Okay. Hey, it just said, "Hey, I got a new number." And I've seen that. I've seen similar stuff like that before. So I immediately called it out. I go, "Are you a scammer? I'm not going to put up with these silly, vague texts, so just try someone else." This person responded, "This is Alina. Is this Julia phone number?" And I straight up said, "Enough with the bullshit, please. Stop texting me." And they finally stopped. This happened to me many months ago, all right, with some person proclaiming to be some lady from Chicago. And the more I said, "Stop texting me," the more they said, "Well, I'm just saying, if you ever come to Chicago, you're more than welcome to come hang out." And it was very, very strange and peculiar. It's a terrible way of scamming people. All right, and I even think it's uncreative. It's not even creative. It's not good. All right, the fact that people can access me through text message bothers me. I hate when my phone number gets out. All right, I hate when it's given away willy-nilly, and I most certainly hate it that anybody that intends to scam people can just text me and try to set me up for some bullshit. It is really, really bothersome. So, scammers, Cole, for all of you, and maybe some more severe stuff like polio or something. I really, if you are in the business of scamming, I hope you burn in hell. All right, just leave people alone. Leave people alone. And my number one, this isn't politics, as I said, but this is something that really, really irks me, and I have touched on this a couple of times throughout the year. The I Hate Billionaires Club or crew. I love those people. They're very adamant. They're very passionate. Billionaires are bad, which in some cases they are. To each their own. Whatever. They manipulated the system. They did something. They created a service that people depend on. I hate Jeff Bezos. Oh my God, what are the Amazon Prime deals? It's Prime Day. Shut up. That's what I have to say. Like, just, if you really hate billionaires, stop buying stuff that makes them richer. If you hate the Starbucks CEO, why are you buying the Starbucks Barista Cup, the Barista Cup? That's like $30. Why? You hate them so much, yet you keep putting money in their pockets. All right? Or the people who hate the Waltons, right? The Walmart family. And every Sunday, they're shopping there, spending their hard-earned money. Instead of supporting local businesses where that money would go a lot further. All right? This drives me insane. This virtue signaling. This I hate billionaires, F billionaires, this, that, this, and that. And then you continue to use their services when you could really take away their power by not spending money with them. All right? And I know it would take a lot of people, thousands upon thousands of people, to finally say, no, I'm not doing this, for it to make any real change. But if you're saying it and yet still doing it, you deserve coal. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. Mean what you say. All right? Or just don't say it so loud. If you intend to keep using Amazon and Walmart and buying overpriced cups that you're not going to care about in a couple months, just don't be so vocal about how much you hate the people that are marketing these things to you. Just a thought. That is it, everybody. That is it. Thank you so much for being a part of this video and of this YouTube channel. This has been a lot of fun. And I want you all... I celebrate Christmas. All right? So I'm going to wish everybody a happy and Merry Christmas. But at whatever denomination that you are a part of, whatever holiday that you celebrate, I want you all to enjoy it. All right? Have fun. This is a very, very special time of the year. And I really hope that if you have an expectation of this time of year, that it is met in some way, shape, or form, or even exceeded with how great it can be. I really hope it's a great one. We'll be back on Friday, the day after Christmas. I don't know what we're going to do yet. I haven't really planned that far. I'm super ahead right now. I'm like 2.5 weeks ahead on recording videos, so I have no idea what my thought process is going to be when we get to that time, but thank you so much. Enjoy your holiday. I love and appreciate you all. Till next time, do you even list?